first author I'm going to do is I started reading her in January and absolutely love her novels. And I finished one of her books last month, and that has to go to Marie Lu, the author of the Legends trilogy, the Young Elite trilogy, and Warcross, which is over here because I'm doing a different video for that. When I first got this book, it was Christmas of last year, and I read it literally the week after the new year. Marie Lu has opened me up to a different perspective of books that I now love to read, sci-fi, dystopian. I fell out of love with dystopian after reading the Divergent trilogy because I absolutely hated the last book. When I decided to read this one, it gave me all the feels that I loved back again. I loved her form of writing, I loved the different kinds, how it went, and she is now one of my favorite authors, and I cannot wait to continue this trilogy, to continue Warcross, and to hopefully again give her other trilogy another chance. And yeah, second author who meant a lot to me this year, and that I read her books for the first time, even though I owned almost all of them for a really long time, never read them, has to go to Cassandra Clare, the author of the Mortal Instrument series, the Infernal Device trilogy, the Bane Chronicles, and her new one. I do not know what that one's called, but when I read the Infernal Device series over the summer months, I absolutely loved it, and it made me love her writing. She opened me up to like a world to escape to when I was going through a lot of troubles, and I didn't know where to turn to. I turned to her books and her books only, and they helped me so much. They helped me get through what I was going through, and I will forever be grateful of this series and to Cassandra Clare. And whenever I think of the hard times I am going through, I think back to this trilogy that I read and falling in love with this family and how this went, and I will always forever, I would keep saying it, I will always forever be grateful to this series, to this author, because it means a whole lot to me. The third author who changed my life, because this is her first book, and this is the first book I have ever read about this movement, and that has to go to Angie Thomas, the author of The Hate U Give. This is a Black Lives Matter movement, and this is the first book ever that is written about this movement that I know of. That is to my knowledge. Correct me if I'm wrong, comment down below. When I first read this, it changed how I thought about everything. I seen discrimination all the time in the city that I live in, because the city that I live in is a very bad city, and I see how people of color and of different minorities are treated, like my family, myself. I'm Puerto Rican, I just don't look it. You see truly how it is going down, and much like what happened here happened to a kid in my city, that the cops killed him and nobody did anything to try to arrest the cop. And when people started the protest, much like they did in here, all that happened was the people who were protesting ended up getting arrested. And it reminded me when that happened, like a couple months after I read this, I thought back like, oh my god, this happened in this book, holy shit. And I think that a lot of people should still read this. If you have not watched my top 5 reasons why you should read The Hate U Give, I will link it down below. And if I can, and I personally think that this is the best book of the year, and it will surely be in my top 5 to 10 best reads of 2017. I love this book. I cannot wait to see what else Angie Thompson puts out, because I will gladly pick it up and add it to my collection that you see here. Has to go to Becky Albertalli, the author of Simon vs. the Homo Sapien Agenda and The Upside of Unrequited. I truly never read a book about LGBTQA plus thing. I've never read anything about it, and this is the first time, like, with this book and Simon vs. the Homo Sapien Agenda, I absolutely loved it because she hit it to my way, on point of how people see them, what they're going through and everything. And I love her because she opened me to diverse reads, and not to judge everything by its cover, and I will forever be grateful for that. And I love Becky Albertalli. I cannot wait to read more of her books, and yeah. And then the fifth and final book, author that I loved so much this year that I only read one of her books, and I'm gonna read her second book, has to go to Morgan Rhodes of the Fallen Kingdom series. I absolutely loved her style of writing. I loved everything about it, and there's not a lot for me to say because I only read one book, but the way that she gets you into the novel and you're engrossed in it and you're like, holy shit, I don't want to put this book down. I love that about the author, and it will always, like, that would always be one of my favorite reasons why I love Morgan Rhodes and why I love the majority of these authors. So these are my top 5 authors of the year. Comment down below what your 5 top authors are for you guys, and I will see you next time with a new video.